You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, YNR fans. So we've got a few spoilers for next week in advance of the full weekly spoilers video we'll have tomorrow. Phyllis Summers is furious and quite certain that Sharon Newman killed Heather and framed Daniel, and she's in her face about it this week. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and let's dive into some juicy stuff for next week. And if you've not subscribed, please click the button. But hey, real quick, yes, I do know that Billy Abbott is Abby's uncle, not her brother. I was taping that last video at 3 a.m. with jet lag after a cross-country flight. I was exhausted. I had brothers on the brain. I had just been talking about Nick and Adam and just misspoke. I was so tired. I usually don't tape that late at night. I usually tape after I watch the daily episodes, but I'm human, and thank you for the comments. I read them and I appreciate them. All right. So before we get to Sharon and Phyllis, there's other big spoilers for next week to discuss. So first, we've got Billy and Lily and some business talk. Jill Abbott is back soon. She's coming back for Abby's wedding, and there's going to be a reckoning. So she has had conversations with both Billy Abbott and Lily Winters that were quite harsh, and she made some demands. When Jill was last in touch with Billy, remember, she demanded he rehire Lily and fire Phyllis Summers. But Billy only did half what his mommy told him to do. He axed Phyllis, who was quite upset about it, but she's got bigger fish to fry than worrying about Abbott Chancellor right now. But it sounds like before Jill gets here, Billy is scrambling to try and fulfill the other half of that ultimatum his mom gave him. Meanwhile, Lily just had a video chat with Jill, and she demanded that Jill fire Billy and make her sole CEO. Lily seems to be as power hungry as Victor is lately. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, she doesn't own the company. The way that she was talking with Devon the other day was that Chancellor was hers, and it's like, no, it never was hers. Her mentor put her in charge of it, but no. So I love Lily, don't get me wrong, and I do like seeing this strong version of her, but I feel it's almost like they're writing that same thing when Victoria was being so awful as CEO. I just feel like they need to dial Lily back maybe just the tiniest bit. I'm also hoping maybe when Nate's brother comes to town, maybe Lily will finally get another love interest if he's far enough away from the family tree for them to date. I haven't really looked at the whole family tree yet. So anyway, so she demands that Jill make her sole CEO. And then in an insane move, I think that will definitely come out to Jill and infuriate her, we saw Lily lie to her. She said that Billy blew up the Odyssey 7 deal, and now Abbott Chancellor is weak and Victor's coming for them. No, Lily gave Victor insider info about Odyssey 7 so he could wreck the deal. So it was actually Lily who weakened the company and made it easier for Victor to target. Jill, told her, you can be co-CEO with Billy or basically nothing. So that's just the context to set up this spoiler for next week. So it is that Billy approaches Lily at the GCAC and tells her he's been a jerk, but he wants forgiveness and a chance to fix things. So it sounds like he is trying to bring her back in and rehire her like his mommy told him to do. But what's interesting is Jill has told both Billy and Lily that they have to be co-CEOs together or else. Billy doesn't know that Jill gave Lily that ultimatum, though. And you may remember Lily was taunting Billy about his ultimatum because she knew that Jill demanded he rehire her, but Billy doesn't know about Lily's ultimatum. But I cannot wait until Billy finds out that Jill made the same demands on them both, because Billy's going to be super duper smug and rub it in Lily's face and taunt her. That's what she did to Billy, so I know he's going to do it back, and I think it's going to be pretty funny. All right, next, we have Victor giving a big gift to Nikki Newman, and then we're going to talk about Phyllis freaking out Sharon. So the Victor-Nikki thing is in the YNR spoilers for next Friday. What's funny is, Victor's messed up a lot lately with Nikki. She's very upset that he's pursuing vengeance on Jack Abbott. Victor has decided it's Jack's fault for her losing her sobriety, even though it was Jordan Howard that pushed her off the wagon, the sister of one of his many lovers. And then, Jack told Nikki that Victor was the one who bought Glissade, and he'd been encouraging Kyle to betray him and Diane. And Victor basically caused all the strife that led to the end of Jack's marriage. And that got Nikki to blow up at Victor. He got angry at her, told her, go move in with Jack if you like him so much. And then Nikki blew it up at Victor a second time because she feels like he's conspiring with Diane, even though her hubby denied it, but his denials mean nothing. That and $1 will get you, a big gulp on sale days. But most men, would go buy their wife flowers to make up for screwing up, and not the mustache. He must have known that he was going to need a big surprise at some point to get Nikki unmad at him for something he did. And man, does he deliver next week. Victor takes Nikki for a drive, has her in a blindfold so she won't know where they're going, and they're just going on the property where they live, which is sizable. And then when he pulls the blindfold off, Nikki is amazed by what she sees. Victor had the ranch house rebuilt, the one that Sharon burned down so many years ago, remember? The big reveal comes on Friday, November 8th. The two actors, Melody Thomas Scott and Eric Braeden, were both moved to tears when they showed them the redone set that's been gone since 2012. They were like wandering around amazed. Eric had tears in his eyes. It was really, really sweet to watch. And fans are going to get to see plenty of this set as well. Victor rebuilt the house as a surprise for Nikki, and it will be the site of Abby and Devon's wedding, which takes place November 13th to coincide with the 13,000th episode of Young and the Restless, 2 weeks from today in the middle of November sweeps. Actually, 2 weeks from the day I'm taping this, which is Thursday. So 1 day shy of 2 weeks from the day you'll be hearing this if you hear it on Friday. And now to the really good stuff. So even though Daniel's out on bail, thanks to Christine, he and his mom Phyllis and his sister Summer are all terrified he's going to go to prison for Heather's murder. He didn't do it, Christine told Phyllis she believes Daniel is innocent and having an alternate suspect could help raise reasonable doubt at trial. Christine doesn't buy Phyllis's suggestion that Sharon's the culprit. But she thinks that having someone else to suggest to the jury as an alternate killer could help the case. So she is willing to entertain it, even though she doesn't think it's plausible, right? Cricket absolutely wants to save Danny's son, so she and Phyllis are working together. I thought hell would have had to frozen over for that to happen, but here it is. They are working towards a common purpose, and maybe it's part of their plan that Cricket and Red have cooked up that kicks off with this spoiler for next week. So before I tell you the spoiler, bear in mind, Nick told Sharon that Phyllis told him she thinks Sharon killed Heather and is framing Daniel. So Sharon already plans to target Phyllis. In her brain right now, Sharon is certain she needs to shut Phyllis up before she tells more people, which is crazy because shutting her up actually just makes that theory seem more plausible, but Sharon's not thinking clearly. We all know that. So that sets the stage at Crimson Lights next week when Phyllis approaches Sharon and she tells her that she knows what she did and has proof. That's what Phyllis tells Sharon. So I wonder if the plan was for Phyllis to tell Sharon and then she and Cricket are going to watch and see what Sharon does so they can see. Cricket doesn't believe it, but Phyllis does. So maybe Phyllis is going to watch to see if Sharon goes to check something. Maybe she kept some bloody evidence. Maybe, checks the back of her car for, blood spatter or something, or a blood puddle, something that Phyllis can get her hands on because she is determined to exonerate Daniel. But the problem is Phyllis telling Sharon this could really put her in danger because Sharon was already planning to silence Phyllis, and now she might be triggered to take immediate action next week. And I have seen some of y'all's comments, by the way. I read all the comments. I don't always have time to reply, but that a lot of people think Sharon didn't do this because she blacked out and when she came to, Heather was dead. And yes, I do see how that opens up a storyline possibility. I will say this. I do think that the original intent of the storyline was that Sharon killed Heather. Now, whether they rewrite it because a lot of fans are upset about it, I don't know, because it's hard to see a way forward for Sharon Case and Sharon Newman if she did indeed kill Heather, But then I was thinking about who would kill Heather, who would be able to come in and coordinate this while Sharon just happened to be blacked out in a fugue state and kill Heather. That's implausible too, but that doesn't mean to say that they won't try and change it. My gut feeling is that the original script that they drafted was that Sharon did do the crime, but that doesn't mean that's where it's going to end up. We'll find out. Hopefully it'll resolve in sweeps because it's been going on for so long. And I'll have a lot more for you on these front burner storylines for next week when we post the full weekly spoilers video tomorrow.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.